Welcome to Grandma's house.
And welcome to the Jason Coleman Show. Oh, thank you very much, and welcome to a very special edition of the Jason Coleman Show. Today, you can see that we are not in our living room. We are on location. We are celebrating a very important song from a very important house for me and for my family, and excited to be here today as we look at the 60th anniversary of the song Last Date by my granddad, Floyd Cramer. 60 years. It was released in the fall of 1960. Here we are in the fall of 2020, and the song is still as awesome and powerful as it was when it was first released. So we're here today, not at our house, but we're here at the Cramer house. My audience of 2 has grown to an audience of 3. We've got Natalie and Avery, but also my grandma, Mary. Hi, Grandma.
Hey, sweetie. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, we're so glad to get to be here. It's been a weird year, of course, for everybody with all that's going on. And we normally spend a lot of time here at Grandma's house, but because of all that's happening, we haven't gotten to spend as much time here, and certainly would have loved to come here earlier in the year. But we decided today was just too important, and this celebration was too important not to be here. So we're here at the Cramer house, playing Granddad's Steinway piano here in the music room, all in celebration of Last Date. Of course, I opened the show with it for you just now, but we're going to play not just Last Date today. We're going to play several songs during Granddad's early career and early years, some that he wrote and some that he had big hits on, and all that you can hear his signature slip note piano style on. All here from Granddad's piano. I grew up playing this piano a lot as a kid, with him sitting right beside me on the piano bench, and so it's always a real treat just to get to be back here and play some more music, and especially for you to get to be here with us today as well is great. So welcome once again, and we'll go from Last Date into the song now that was the follow-up hit right after Last Date. Grandad wrote and released this next song called On the Rebound. Rebound there by my granddad, Floyd Cramer. So Last Date, of course, was Grandad's most famous and most popular song. It also really solidified what became known as the slip note piano style that Grandad really pioneered and paved the way for it to become really the sound of country piano in all country music. And actually, Last Date was not the first song to feature this slip note piano style, though it was the most popular. In fact, earlier in 1960, the first song in which you could hear Grandad play this style actually was a song made famous by Hank Lachlan that Grandad played on the studio, the session on the song with this kind of style. It was a style that was played by Don Robertson, who is the song's writer and a piano player, and Grandad sort of took it and ran with it and made it his own and adapted it into something that really caught your ear when you heard it. So I'm going to play now the first song to feature the slip note style, called Please Help Me, I'm Falling. Thank you. Of course, the Tennessee Waltz there, and it always is a fun song to play, but it's also a really good demonstration of what makes Grandad's slip note piano style so unique. And I always like to go back and sort of let you hear how it comes together, because a song like the Tennessee Waltz has a really simple melody. If I were to play the melody all by itself on the Tennessee Waltz, it would sound like this. Here it is. And so to give Grandad's slip note style its unique sound, he added two things. One was this little mistake and immediate correction, and if you add that to the notes, it sounds like this. You hear that? But then he added one more thing too, and this may go back to his roots. He always grew up loving Southern gospel quartet music. And in these quartets, you have the lead singer, and then you have the tenor singer that actually sings a higher harmony part. And so if you add that high harmony to that mistake and immediate correction, it sounds like this. And that little change in how it was played is what made the huge difference, and it's what made his style stand out among all other piano players. And in a song like Last Date, the same thing. You know, that melody is... But you add the slip note, and it sounds like this. Same melody, totally different song, and it's really what made Floyd Cramer sound like Floyd Cramer. Here's one more where you can hear the slip note in. This is his arrangement, his version of an old Bob Wills tune called the San Antonio Rose. All right, San Antonio Rose, and boy, I tell you what, this piano is a fun one to play. If you are just joining us, do not adjust your devices. We are not in our living room. We are actually at my grandparents' house, the Cramer house today, playing my granddad Floyd Cramer's beautiful Steinway piano that's been here for decades in this same spot right here in the music room. And it's because today we are celebrating Last Date 60th anniversary. 60 years since Grandad wrote and released Last Date in 1960, and today's show is a celebration of all things Floyd Cramer. In fact, earlier this week, we celebrated Grandad would have turned 87 years old on October 27th, this past Tuesday, and so it's been quite a big Floyd Cramer week, and it's just always so encouraging and and just really humbling to see how much his music, even 23 years now since he has passed away, how much his music continues to mean to so many of you. All the comments this week just on your favorite Floyd Cramer songs. It's just amazing. It really is. It's been a long time now, and his music certainly, by this time could have faded off into the distance, but it has not, and it's because of all of you. And so thank you for all that you have meant to my family and me as we continue to enjoy Granddad's music and his legacy, and especially as I've gotten to spend my career the last few years trying to bring new life to his music. It just means the world. So thanks for listening today. We're here at my grandma Mary's house, and she may make an appearance in a few minutes too, by the way. We might just see what we can do with that. But in the meantime, this is sort of a treasure trove here at Grandma's house. Over the years, Grandad accumulated a lot of honors and awards and Last Date, and many of his songs did as well. And so I wanted to take just a minute here and sort of show you a few of the cool little treasures that we have at Grandma's house. So first off here you can see up on the piano here, of course, here's Last Date, which some of you may have and may have collected through the years, the album there from 1960. We also have here the sheet music that some of you might have learned to play the piano here through the years. This was, and in fact, you might have seen this picture was the one that I posted earlier in the week. Granddad's first publicity picture when he was how old? What, 18? Mm-hmm. 18 years old. Boy, he's a
handsome guy.
Handsome fella right there.
Still was.
The original sheet music. It may even be marked up by Grandad there. Let's see what else we have. Now here is what's really cool. I love getting to show this. So we're actually in November right now, and it was November of 1960 when Last Date reached its peak on the Billboard charts. So this is actually a Billboard magazine, the original copy from November 28th of 1960. And if I open to the chart, which I should have marked the page. Let's
46.
see, where is it? It's
46.
Grandma is on it, page 46. You've been doing your homework. Listen to her. 46, right here, page 46 is the chart. That's amazing. From the Hot 100 for the week ending December 4th. This is November of 1960, and you can see the number one song there, Are You Lonesome Tonight? Elvis Presley, which Grandad played on those Elvis recordings at that time. Number 2, Last Date by Floyd Cramer. So here it is right here. It had been on the charts for 8 weeks at that point, and it peaked there at number 2, right behind Are You Lonesome Tonight? So we were one Elvis hit away from being a number one song on the Billboard magazine. But it's pretty neat to see.
Look how much that cost. How much?
Oh yeah, the whole Billboard magazine was 50 cents right there. The music industry's leading news weekly. So there it was, Last Date, which is pretty unprecedented for an instrumental song. You think about it to be not just the country charts, but in fact it was the pop charts. These are the big Billboard Hot 100 charts that Last Date peaked there at number 2 for a while. And then here is the biggie. Are you ready for this? We have here, this is the gold record. Is the glare, are we okay? Can you see it okay? This is presented to Floyd Cramer to commemorate sales in excess of 1 million copies of RCA Records' single-playing record, Last Date. Now that is pretty cool. So here we have the gold record presented to Grandad by RCA for 1 million sales of Last Date. It's a song that I know has meant a lot to many of you through the years and to our family as well. And so it's just great to get to be here today to celebrate it. Now I know I opened the show with it, but if there's a show that we could sneak it in a couple of times, it'd be this one. So in case you came in late, I'll go ahead and play it for you one more time now. This is my Grandad Floyd Cramer's Last Date. right. Yeah, I debated just playing Last State over and over for about 45 minutes for the show, but I decided we ought to diversify a little bit. But in case you came in late, I didn't want you to miss Last State here as part of the show. Hey, for these next couple of songs here, I tried to think through what all we could include in the show to celebrate Last State and Floyd Cramer, and the song list is just too great. So I wanted to hit a few highlights here of some other songs that Grandad recorded and released, and some that he wrote around the same time that Last State was released. And so here are going to be just a few quick hits of some Floyd Cramer classics from the early years. I'm going to play a little bit, and then we'll see if you recognize it. Write the name of the song there in the comments. So some of these are going to be some sort of deep takes. So it might really quiz you if you're not a big Floyd Cramer fan. So let's try this and see if you know what this first one is here. That one. Yeah. Do we know what it is?
Sweetie Baby.
She's got it. Sweetie Baby, which was the B-side, I believe, of the Last State of the single there. Sweetie Baby, a little bit. All right, she's 1 for 1. Let's see. How about this one? Now we know that one is called
Fancy Pants.
Oh yeah, Fancy Pants, our Floyd Cramer original. Here's another one for you.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that one's called Your Last Goodbye, another one that Grandad wrote. So far, so good. Let's see. How about this one?
beautiful.
Yeah, do we know that one? Does Avery know what that one is? Do you remember?
It's the young years.
Avery says, and he's correct, it's the young years.
Yeah,
Avery.
I could not remember.
You're so good. These are the young years. Oh, hi. Well, you can come say hi.
That's beautiful.
What song was that, Avery?
It was the young years.
It was the young years. Well, make yourself at home. Here, I'm going to play a couple of more Grandad songs, see if you know it. Here, what about this song? What's this next one? You ready? What's this one? What's that called?
It's drum.
It is Shrum. Sit by me. How about one more here? Let's see if you can recognize another Floyd Cramer original for you. Want to play with me? Over here. Oh, thanks. We've lost control. Play G. You little goober. Was that fun?
Yeah. We're all done with the concert.
Well, we're not all done with the concert. Avery, you still have some songs to do in a few minutes. But right now, he just makes himself at home. No one has been more excited to be at Grandma's house than Avery, that's for sure. But, you know, since we are at my grandma's house and we're celebrating all things Floyd Cramer, I thought it would only be appropriate if she got to say hello to you and you all got to meet her here today. And so, would you please make welcome the true star of this whole family circus, Miss Mary Cramer, everybody. Why don't you come over here and have a seat?
Okay.
Just make yourself at home.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Grandma, how you doing today?
I'm fine. Well, welcome everybody.
Hey, it is just it is our treat. I have grown up in this same house. Of course, you've been in this house since, for what, 1962?
I go by Donna's age. She was not quite 3. Oh my God.
My mom.
I told how old Donna is.
That's okay. That's right. So
Sorry, Donna.
It's all right. So last date was 1960, and then you all moved into this house here in 1962.
Yeah.
And have been here ever since.
Ever
and so
since.
Really for my family and my mom and my aunt Di and me and my cousins, this is just Grandma and Granddad's house. Always has been, always
How
will
many
be.
people stay in a house that long?
Not many. 58 years. That's pretty rare, I would think, these days too. And so it's just coming to Grandma's house. And so I got to ask you. You know, we're going to do this real official now,
Okay.
like an interview. You know,
This sounds serious.
So it was 1954 when you and Granddad were married.
Yes.
And you got married and lived in Shreveport then for your first year of marriage, and you both came from Arkansas, both just a small...
Well, we're definitely in Shreveport, actually. Because Floyd, York, Louisiana hayride.
Right.
And toured with.
Right. So lived in Shreveport first thing, and then in 1955, on your 1-year wedding anniversary...
We moved here.
Moved here to Nashville, and then Granddad was working pretty much full-time, wasn't he?
Well, the day that we spent the night at the old York Motel.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have any money either, much. And the next morning, he worked with the Wilburn family recording session at Acuff Rose.
Yeah.
Right across. So that was a good beginning right there, you know.
Well, sure.
And
so Nashville's a pretty good distance though from Arkansas. Did your family just think, did you think you gone crazy marrying this musician and moving to Nashville for music?
Well, they probably did, but they loved you. They loved your granddad.
Sure.
But here we were. I was 21, and your granddad was 22, and we had a TV and our clothes, and that's about it. Probably making payments on the TV. I don't know. And but anyway, and we didn't have a place to live.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really pretty wild.
Packed up and headed here to
Uh-huh.
see what Grandad could do with music?
Yeah, and Tommy Hill, I may have told this story before, but Tommy Hill, I think he was probably working the session. And I think we spent the night, the first night was Tommy Hill. And then we were looking for an apartment. And we were lucky to find a duplex with a lovely, lovely lady and her daughter. And they taken us in like their own children.
Yeah.
And Floyd was, at that time, he was working on the road a lot, you know, before he got into really recording very much. And they would take me, I'd go to church with them, and they'd just taken me under their wings, you know. And so, and we remained friends all those years, you know.
Well, you have returned the favor, I know, for many people through the years. You and Grandad are two of the most generous people I've known, not just because you're my grandparents, but not just for your family, but for everybody, and that's...
I appreciate that, but Last Date was really the beginning.
Well, that's true. So Last Date came along then in 1960, so you all had been here for 5 years, I guess, and Grandad had been working pretty much day and night, wasn't he? Day and night. So when Last Date came along, did like everything just change, or was it just sort of like another day at the office? Because he was working still like crazy.
Well, it was crazy. I mean, it was such a shock, you know. But it, like I said, it was a life-changing thing.
Yeah.
And but he was always so humble, and you know, because he'd go after he started going on the road, you know, traveling, being as you know with himself, you know, on the shows, he would say, I can't believe these people are doing what they're getting dressed to come just to see me play. You know, all kinds of weather. I'm sure that's the way you feel too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's just it's mind blowing that people do that. But even now, I mean, it's been 23 years almost since he passed away.
He wouldn't believe it.
He wouldn't believe it. I think that too. You know, and of course, since he passed away, he's been inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, both in 2003, and several other halls of fame through the years. And you know, we've talked before. Of course, he wasn't alive to enjoy that himself, but I just and you, of course, at all these ceremonies are just so eloquently have accepted on behalf of all of our family and on Grandad. But what would he have said? What would he have thought about being inducted into these kind of halls of fame?
He wouldn't be able to. Well, I think really down deep, he never did talk about it. But I think one day he thought it would be nice to be in the country music, but he never dreamed of going into the rock and roll.
Rock and roll, I know.
And that was the first one. He received both honors the same year, 2003. We went to New York for the rock and roll. And then
that was quite a party, wasn't it?
that was quite. And Paul Schaefer was wonderful. And
he loved Grandad, still does.
Oh, he does. And then it was fun just going back to Arkansas, to the Arkansas Hall of Fame.
The Arkansas Entertainers Hall of Fame?
And the Browns were inducted, and I can't remember now. It was one of the, oh gosh, I can't remember. It was, I had a comedy show. I can't remember. It's a lot of, but the Browns were one of the others. I should remember that. It's been a few years.
Well, he's in good company, but I mean, I would think that Grandad would know, obviously. I mean, he's been a part of such successful songs in himself. But what I think he would totally, be astounded at is to know how many people's lives he has affected. Because, I mean, you know, doing what I'm doing now out in concerts and here online. I mean, the stories people share with me, and I know share with you, and I will share you all these, how his music has just meant and continues to mean so much. And I feel like he would be blown away to know that, what an impact that his fingers have had and those notes that he's played have had on so many lives.
He'd be so proud of you too, Jason.
Oh,
but I could envision y'all on a concert, touring together.
And we'd be on a whirlwind tour.
Wouldn't that be great?
It would be fun.
But he would love knowing that you're, following in his footsteps.
Well, he's just
enjoying his music.
Always, as a kid, you wanted to be like Grandad, and no one will ever be like Floyd Cramer. But it's just an honor to get to do what I do to keep his music and his legacy alive. And that legacy is a legacy of love from all of our family too. That you obviously carry on. I mean, there's no one that loves kids and grandkids more than Grandma, and we get to extend that love on to little man now.
I know.
Little man now, too.
And it's amazing how well he's playing.
Oh, my goodness. In fact, Avery, do you think it's time? Do you want to come say hello? Oh, here he comes. He's the part of the show every week. Would you welcome officially Mr. Avery Cramer Coleman? Avery, how are you doing? Where are we today?
At the grandma's house.
Oh,
we are at Grandma's house. How much do you love Grandma?
Yes, so much.
You do love your Grandma.
I love you too,
So
baby.
Avery, I believe, has prepared a special song just for Grandma. Do you want to play a song for Grandma today, Avery?
Oh, wow.
And silver.
You like my necklace?
Has a blue and silver necklace. Isn't that beautiful? Well, Grandma is always, of course, just stunning. But as many of you have mentioned...
Like M&Ms.
What?
I like to eat the blue M&Ms.
Did you hear that? Avery said the blue ones look kind of like M&Ms. You'd like to eat the M&Ms. Well, they're just pretend M&Ms. But Grandma is always quite stylish, as Grandad was too. And most of you have mentioned through the weeks just how all these shirts that I keep pulling out came from Grandma.
I
So
know.
we do our best. All right, bud. Hey, let's come play a song for Grandma. You want to come play one song? Maybe more? Now, what's a song that Grandma has always sung to you, and Grandma has always sung to your daddy and all of us? Oh, here, hey, bud. You want to play You're My Sunshine? Do you need the notes, or can you just play it from memory? From memory, of course. So this is a song Avery learned to read the notes, but now he's going to play it by memory. So we'll see how that goes. Ready? What are the first notes? Do you know? You ready, bud? CF? Right there. This one's for Grandma.
Okay.
From Avery and all your grandkids. Ready? Here, I'll start it out. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's just for Grandma, because you've sung
Thank
that
you.
to us all of our lives.
Thank you, sweetie.
Now, Avery, do you want to play, you think, one more song for our special last date celebration? Or what's next? What song now, bud? Are you just having fun playing Granddad's big piano over here? Isn't it pretty? Do you want to play, what song next? You want to play one song or two more songs?
I'll play one song.
You want to do last date for everybody here today?
No, I'm going to do On the Rebound.
Want to do On the Rebound?
Let's see. I'm going to do On the Rebound.
Okay, well, we can do On the Rebound. We can
wow.
close out with
Let's
that.
do one last date.
Okay.
I'm going to do one on the Rebound.
Are you ready, bud? I'm going to start us off.
I'm going to get on Country Go.
Okay, you ready? I'll play it just like Country Gold. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta do the drum solo. Good job. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, play! Oh, bud. Avery, do you think you have one more song in you? Let's do Last 8. Ready? Daddy's going to start it, and you can play with me. Yeah, there it is. We'll play it really pretty for Grandma and for Granddad. Ready? You want to sit right here? Sit right here. Here we go. Daddy will start. I love you, bud. Can you play it? CC. Yeah, again, CC. That one's for your granddad. That one's for our granddad. Here, come on, take a big bow. Say thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, has it been so much fun being here at Grandma's house
Yeah.
for our Floyd Cramer last date celebration? Mommy's here too. Mommy, everyone, to come real quick and tell everybody goodbye and thanks for being here today. Oh, what a day it's been.
And we're going to have a pumpkin hunt in a minute.
Ooh,
Dinner. And Halloween.
Oh boy, have all kinds of fun. It's been such a pleasure to get to be here. It's a pleasure every week to get to share the music of my granddad, and especially on this day to get to celebrate 60 years of Last Date. Thanks to all of you for making it so much fun to get to keep his music alive, and a big thank you to Grandma Mary Cramer.
Thank you, honey, for coming.
Oh, thanks for having us. It has been a thrill, and we'll have to come back here sometime
Yes, you
soon.
will.
We're all doing our best to stay safe and stay smart, and we'll keep on making it through and have a lot more good times here together ahead. Meanwhile, Avery is...
He's making himself at home.
He is
That's what
making
he's
himself-
supposed to be doing.
That's right. It is home. We are home. We love you, Grandma.
I love you too, honey.
Has
I
it been
love you,
fun, Natalie?
It's been great.
It's
Always good to be at
It
Grandma's.
is. Well, Avery is officially in the other room, so we better say goodbye and go grab him. We love you all, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
The Jason Coleman Show is only made possible because of your support. So here are 3 ways you can help us keep the music playing. First, you can check out my CDs and songbooks, including my new Simply Piano albums featuring the best songs from our Sunday shows. They're all available at jasonmusicstore.com. Second, the tip jar is always open at jasoncolemanmusic.com/tip if you'd like to leave a gift. And third, you can join our supporter family. This is a simple way for you to enjoy even more music from my family and me and support what we're doing in an ongoing way. For just $5 a month, supporters get private bonus concerts, behind-the-scenes updates, and a discount on any of my music. It's sort of like a fan club, but to Natalie, Avery, and me, you are more than just fans. You really are family. You can sign up with your card or even with a check in the mail at jasoncolemanmusic.com/join. Thanks for all your support, and thank you for watching The Jason Coleman Show.
You're listening to The Jason Coleman Show on WSM Radio.